Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be decorating the Sanders residence from the Simkhira small town save file. Don't worry, it's a speed decorating video, so just get your coffee, sit back, and let's get started. Okay, so let's hop into the speed build or speed decorating. The reason I decided to speed this video up is for the sake of all of our time. This video took me 3 hours to create. I know, it was so long. It took me 3 hours to decorate this entire home. So I decided to speed it up. Also, I think this is going to be a good case study to see if you guys actually prefer the long plays or the speed decorating. I think we're probably going to end up doing like a mix of both for the sake of the save file and, just getting things done. But, this is our first speed decorating. Let me know how you like it or if you prefer the long builds or the long plays. You guys let me know. I don't mind either way. I just think that because this house was so massive and I was so indecisive, as you guys will see, the entire house looks completely different. Well, not completely, but it definitely doesn't look like the direction that we're going right now. Let's talk about the save file. So first and foremost, I just want to thank you all who downloaded the save file and got in there and started playing with it. And I'm so glad that you're enjoying it. I put so much into it, so it's nice to share it and have others love it as well. But let's talk about the Sanders family because they live here. We are in Foundry Cove of Willow Creek, and they live right next door to the Duncans. We've already decorated the Duncans house. It's available on my Patreon. It's available on the gallery. And you guys can watch the long play over there. If you guys want to, it's up on my channel right now. But they're the next door neighbors. So it consists of the wife, Nicole, her husband, Nathan, and their two sons. Actually, her husband, Nate, and their two sons, Nathan and Noah. Well, technically, their son, Nathan, is a junior because Big Nate, we call him Nate. His name in the game is Nate, but we just call him that. Like, I feel like his legal name would be Nathan, right? And like the son would be Nathan Jr., right? Do you guys get it? You guys get it. But I love this family. They are so sweet. I love this household because it just seems so hectic. And what I mean by that is that there's always something going on. Like, there's never a dull moment in this house. I just feel like Nicole, the wife, she's a teacher, but she's also a mom of 2 boys, and then they have the dog Neo. I gave her the clumsy trait, and it's not that I think that she's clumsy by nature. I think it's just that she's so busy and, doing lesson plans, parenting, doing all the things. That's why she has her hair like up in like a claw clip, like she's just busy. Like, she has so many things going on. I feel like she's an active and involved parent, as well as, there's always something going on at the school with teachers. So I just think that there's a million and one things that she has to do and think about that sometimes she may trip or, there's probably like clutter all in the house. And so she probably trips over things, or she's probably in the kitchen. She's prone to like cutting herself. And it's just because she needs to learn to slow down and just process because Nicole's running miles per hour. Okay, so that's why she has the clumsy trait. But I think that's so unique, and hopefully that like comes across, in a good way. Also, her husband Nate, he is in the handy person career. He is a handyman through and through, which I think that's a common theme in the save file is that, it's a very slow Southern living. And so a lot of the men are like handy and they like to be outdoors, and it's just the way of life. And so I feel like he has his workshop out back. I feel like he's always out there woodworking, doing something. He takes pride in his yard. You need him to put up a TV or anything, like Nate's the one you're going to call. He reminds me so much of the Reynolds household that live in Courtyard Lane. The husband from that household named Jamie Reynolds, he is a landscaper. So he owns his own landscaping company. And I think that's how the Sanders teenage son, Nathan, probably started lawn mowing on the weekends. Because he is in the part-time lawn mowing career. Well, actually, I opened this game, Save File V1, and I started decorating. And I come to realize that he's actually in the cheerleading after school career. I'm like, no, that's not right. So if you guys have V1 of the save file and Nathan is in the cheerleading activity, that's not right. He's supposed to be a part-time lawnmower. It's in the description. That's the life that I gave him, the life that I intended for him at least. And anyway, so it'll be changed in V2, I promise. But in the interim, if you guys will change that, that'll be great. But yeah, so he does that gig on the weekends. And I think it's because, he would see Jamie as like an uncle figure. Like he and his dad hang out so much that they're always together. They're always working on something. They're always just getting some beers, hanging out. So I think he would see a lot of Jamie, and that's probably how he got started lawn mowing. That's just what I think. That's the storyline that I have played out. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this build and talk about the save file, give you guys some more lore. It's so incredible that whenever I sped this build up, it took it from 3 hours to 25 minutes. And I kid you not, as I was building, I'll get into the building in a minute, but as I was building, I kept feeling the need like I had to rush. Whenever you're creating a speed build, whenever I create a speed build, particularly for a large lot or a large home, it feels like I have to rush, even though I know that in post editing, you're going to be speeding it up. So 3 hours is really 25-30 minutes. But to me, it felt like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be an hour long if I speed it up. So I think that's just so funny how that happens. But yeah, whenever I was decorating this house, I had a hard time figuring out their personal style and the type of furniture that they would have. I kind of was trying to balance the line of updated, but not too new, but not too old. So I didn't want to go so nostalgic, because they're not as old as the Duncans, but they're also not like super nice either. Like, I still want them to have nice furniture, don't get me wrong. And I kind of want it to look a little bit older, as if they'd been collecting their furniture since Nathan was a child, but not so much, not too old. I hope that makes sense. Like, I think Nicole would be into like a more classic, more classic styles. I don't really know how I'm explaining that. I think she would like traditional furniture. That's what I'm going to say. I think she would like traditional furniture, not too modern, but also not too old. I think it had to ride a fine line between being too new and being too old. It had to be right there in the middle. I think in the end, it kind of came together. We were able to mix some old pieces with some newer pieces, and I think that's the look I was trying to go for. So I think it comes together. You guys let me know what you think. Speaking of CC, I think I mentioned this in all of my videos, but I kind of want to mention it again just in case you guys don't watch those. But I am Where Can I Find Friendly, which means if you see anything that I pull out, or I scroll past any custom content that you're like, wait a minute, pull that back out. What was that? Where'd you get that from? Comment it down below with a timestamp, like if you want to know anything. I'm so good at my CC that I can look at something and I can tell you exactly where it comes from. Like, it's such a problem. Like, I can look at anything and be like, oh, yeah. Also, while I was going through, it's so funny because I download custom content all the time, you guys. I kid you not when I say I'm always playing The Sims. I am, in some capacity, I am always playing The Sims. Whether I'm downloading content, creating content, playing for myself, recording for you guys, I'm always in the game, right? Except for when I'm at work or I'm doing mommy things or I'm doing wifey things. I'm always in the game. So if you see something, say something, because I can definitely find it for you. Speaking of, when I was going through some of my items, I was noticing like new things that I downloaded. So I'm constantly downloading CC, and I was finding out new things that I downloaded. Some things I learned that I want to keep, and some things that I learned that I want to let go of. And I think after this video, I'm probably going to go purge some CC. I recently started this, so this is something I kind of started towards the end of last year. I have been getting rid of things in my game that I don't use. So that includes if I download a custom content collection, I will only keep the items that I know that I'm going to use. If I already have something in my game that I think is better or that I know that I'm going to prefer. So let's say I have like 2 of the same similar mirrors. You know, if I download one has to go. Like the items that I choose to keep in my game have to be different enough to where I don't choose something else over it. If I end up not using it, or I know I have something in my game that I'm going to choose over and over, I'm just going to get rid of it. So I can't have like 2 toasters, because one of the toasters I'm going to always use, because I'm just I'm a creature of habit when it comes to this game. I use the same refrigerator. I use the same counters. I use the same, like all of my houses pretty much are created in the same font. They're the same font, different color. Okay, because that's just how I play my game. Like, I like the same things. I use it for all. The only time I will vary and go off is if I'm playing with, you know, it just doesn't match. Like, for example, if I have like a rich sim, I'm not going to use my favorite fridge in the game because they're not going to have a white refrigerator, you know. So that's the only time I'll change up. But even then, I have my favorite quote unquote rich sim items, you know? So it's like, it's just that type of thing. So I can't have like multiple of the same things that I know that I'm not going to use. And I hope that makes sense. And I highly encourage you guys to do that as well. If you're thinking about it, go through your CC. This is a good project for you guys. Go through your CC and find stuff that you always like you never seen before in your game, or you just don't use. Like, go through all of your content, go through all of that clutter, and you're like, I have never used this clutter a day in my life. Delete it, because you're not going to start using it. Sometimes we hold on to CC because we're like, oh, this will be perfect for X, Y, and Z. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do it. Just delete it. You're not going to use it. I was infamous for that. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to download this because one day I'm going to need it. No, you're not. Don't even use it. Don't even touch it. Like, whenever you're given the chance to use a pillow, you always use these. Delete the other ones. You know, so it's like, or if it's something that drives you crazy. So for example, speaking of pillows, if there's a pillow that it's not automatically created to the height of the couch, like if I have to like raise it up to the height of the couch, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. So it's just me. So if it's like something that I have to go above and beyond to make work in my game, I delete it. It has to automatically work, or else I'm just not going to use it. Like, and I encourage you guys to do the same thing, because your game still has to read all of those files. So why is it taking up space? Doing this has made my game faster than ever, because I don't have all of that extra stuff that the game has to like account for. It just runs faster, smoother. I think I started with like 50 gigabytes of CC, and now I'm down to like 30. I got rid of like 20 gigabytes. That's good, y'all. That's good. Comment down below how many gigabytes of CC you have in your game right now. Before you start deleting stuff, don't even think about deleting that. Nope. Go ahead and comment your starting gigabytes right now. Yeah. Y'all just as bad. Y'all are just as bad as me. But yeah, I downloaded like some CC last night while we're talking about it. I realized I don't like most of it. It was a big pack. You guys hear my daughter? It was a big pack, and I downloaded it, and I'm like, ooh, this is great. Like, the preview pictures look good. Everything looks good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I get it in my game, and everything looks plasticky. If it has like a weird shine on it, Like it's wrapped in bubble plastic or something. Delete it. I'm never going to use it. I don't even know what you call that. Is that like a specular map? Girl, I don't know. Content creators, comment down below what that is. But I don't like it. I don't like it. I wish I could create CC. I mean, I can do recolors. I'm really good at recolors actually. But I'm talking about like actually starting from the mesh. Like Blender. And I've tried it. I have tried it. I have determined that it is too much. At least in that moment, I was very overwhelmed. And yeah, I think modding would be better for me. I think I could create a mod. Now, not too crazy. I wouldn't get too crazy, but I think a simple mod, I understand that enough to where I could probably do that. Oh, I have too much already going on. Let me just focus on one thing at a time. Speaking of which, last night I started creating Newcrest, and oh my gosh, we're going to be doing a long play of Newcrest really soon because I can't wait for you guys to see it. I absolutely had no idea what I wanted to do for Newcrest. I didn't have any plans for Newcrest. I mean, I loosely had an idea. I knew the lot types that we were lacking so far in the save file. Like right now we only have like a few lots, like a pool and a park, a bar, and a restaurant, like a little diner. But I knew that we needed like a gym and like a nail salon and a vet clinic. So those things I knew I wanted to be in Newcrest. Didn't really have a plan of how I was going to put them in Newcrest, where they were going to go, what the buildings were going to look like, any of that. So last night I sat down with the empty Newcrest, pulled out my little tool mod, and I just started placing things down. And the story wrote itself. I love when I get into that creative mode and I just start designing. It's what I'm best at. So I am by nature a creative. If you guys didn't know, I am professionally a creative. My degree is in graphic design. So whenever I sit down with the tool mod and I just start placing stuff and figuring out where things go and balancing, how things look, it just starts to come together. And I just start to think about the people who live here, where things go, what cars they drive and what they do. And you don't necessarily have to really be a creative to do this. I think anybody who plays The Sims to the level that we do, because if you're here on my channel, you are deep in the Sims community. Okay, if you're downloading save files, you're deep, sis. So I think we are all naturally storytellers, right? Like we love telling stories and we love the environments and we love the characters and the backstories. And I think we all kind of get into that brain of like, okay, this is how this is going to be, right? So I was so excited. I started creating Newcrest, and I don't want to give too much away because we're going to give it away in the long play. But I do want to say that I love it. It's not what I first expected, but it's everything that we need, everything that I wanted. It's an extension of Willow Creek, kind of. They're neighboring cities. Have you guys seen that map where somebody stitched together all of the Sims worlds and like where they would be geographically if this was real? I'm going to put it on the screen because I love that map and I live and abide by it, obviously. So Newcrest obviously is right by Willow Creek. They're all right there by each other. So the lore isn't much different from Willow Creek. Like the people who live in Willow Creek will also know the people in Newcrest, right? Like they're neighboring cities. I don't think they're going to have a different mayor. As you guys know, in the simkhira small town save file, we have a mayor. Actually, they might, because they might be their own city, right? Because different cities have different mayors, so they might, but I haven't thought that much into the lore. All I can tell you is that so far we have a small commercial area and a military base. That's all I can say. 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 We will save it for the actual long play, which I'm probably going to do this weekend, actually. I don't know. Because I don't think I have any plans this weekend. Do you guys have any plans this weekend? Or are you playing your game? Are you staying in? Are you playing your game? Let me know. If you are playing your game, are you playing in my save file? That's the question. And if you're not, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Get in there. Speaking of gameplay, I'm still playing with the Garrisons. Wait, pause. I know we're not talking anything about the Sanders family. We haven't talked about this build one bit. But I mean, I think at this point we're 20 minutes in, so you guys can kind of see how things are shaping right now. I don't really think it's much to talk about. I kind of just wanted this to be like a free, just sit down and talk to you guys. I don't really have much to say about the build, to be honest. I think I said it all. They're a cute little family, and I decorated for a cute little family. That's really all I have to say about it. But back to my personal gameplay. I'm still playing with the Duncan family, so the first family that we created the house for. Garrison has found him a girlfriend. Oh my god. So yeah, I made him a Cupid's Corner account, and he ended up matching with a random NPC named Evan. Her name's Evangeline, but I call her Evan for short. And the funny thing about it is they got along so well. Like, I mean, the first date, they were just automatically just doing things. Like, they were just automatically romancing and being friendly and laughing with each other, and the chemistry was off the charts. Now, that's how I like to play my game. I don't like to force it. I don't like to go and change their traits just because and all of that. The most I'll do is get in Create Sim and change the way that they look. And you know, Evan wasn't too shabby to begin with, so I just really had to spruce her up a little bit. But their chemistry, off the charts, and I loved it so much. But we found out that she's non-committal. Yeah, non-committal. As much, and the funny thing is, she is the one making all of the romantic advances. But then when Garrison does anything or talk about romantic boundaries, or he's trying to like get deep with her, she'll have the little ring emoji with the cross out symbol, like, no. And it's like, what do you want from me, Evan? Like, what are you even doing here? And the thing about it is, she asked to move in with us, and you guys know Garrison lives with his parents. He lives with Mr. Gerald and Mrs. Gale, who happens to be next door to the Sanders family. Anyways, go check out the last video. But it's so funny because she asked to move in with us, and she did. We let her live there. Miss Gale, so sweet, sweetheart. They let her move in. They love her. We all love her, but she's non-committal, which means that she quit her little retail job. She doesn't want Garrison. She doesn't want her job. I'm like, you just want to live here and like woohoo with Garrison every 5 minutes, because they automatically do that too. Like, she autonomously asks him to woohoo very often. And I'm like, is this all that you want from Garrison? Is like to live here with his parents? And you know, Miss Gill is always cooking and like, but this is the end. Let me go. This is making me want to go play my game. So let me wrap this up. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're playing in the save file, thank you. If you're not, please go download it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.